Good afternoon. Okay, I am Sim McDonough, IFBB Bikini Pro, and today we have 6 shows going on this weekend. So let's talk about them. I'm sitting on the floor today because I must spring into action at any moment because I have 4 dogs waiting on me. Okay, we are going to start with the Kansas. Okay, so we have the Kansas City Natural Pro. We have the Everest Muscle Games, the AGP Korea show, the open one. We have, this isn't girl power. We have Miami. Oh, Miami, it's gonna be good. And then we have what is this one? Optimum. Okay, we have Optimum. And then we have the Korea Natural Pro Show. So I'm gonna have to make a couple videos. So we're gonna start with the Korea Natural Pro Show because there are only 3 people. So I thought the rule was that to qualify, usually to qualify for the Olympia, your pro card, there have to be at least to qualify for your pro card, there have to be at least 5 people total, like including you. So since there's only 3 in this show, and there's only 3 in both the Natural Pro shows happening this weekend, I wonder if they will qualify for the Ben Weeder. It sucks for the athletes that there are so few, because obviously you want to go in a competitive show, but it will really suck if it's not even a competitive show and you don't get to qualify for the Ben Weeder. So yeah, let's see. So first on the list we have Alum. So she is my pick to win. She has placed third just this year in April, and in the past she like consistently places very well. Third, eighth, fifth, sixth, like she rocks. So I've talked about her before, and I have see, I've made videos on most of these, or a lot of these shows. So I talked about Taiwan. You can see an in-depth look at my thoughts there. But Alum has a beautiful stage presence and really great balance to her physique. So as far as hourglass shape goes, so she could use a little more size, like in the upper body, conditioning could match a little bit better. Like she's a little full in these legs than she is up here. What I've said about her posing in the past is that with this hand so externally rotated, you lose this lateral delt and the front delt a little bit. And the lateral delt, so your side delt, is pretty huge in bikini. Like you really want to have a nice roundness to the shoulders, and I do believe she has that, but she's not showcasing it because of her pose. So if her hand were more like this instead of like open like that, I think that would help her out. If she also brought it closer to her frame, that would be great. But yeah, super tiny waist. I would like her to not cover up her belly button with that hand, drop it to this connector over here so you don't have skin flowing into skin where it covers up the tiniest part of your waist. The suit color I love, the smile I love, hair, makeup, beautiful. So I think she is our front runner. And when we turn to the back, so she is someone who I've said, like, it just needs to get a little bit leaner back here. She has a great pop in the delts here, but in the lower body, it looks a little bit bulky. And I think it's just because she needs to get that little bit tighter. Like she has a little more body fat on those legs. So if she could just tighten up a bit, which I'm sure she has since April, then I think it's her show. And honestly, even if she didn't do that, it might still be her show. So yeah, she's my front runner. But I mean, okay, I was not familiar with this competitor before. She also looks great. Really good balance. Maybe she's not fully posed there. Okay. So yeah, she's a little bit open in the waist here, so I would angle away a bit, and she's a little bit too tight, but great suit selection. Hair and makeup looks really good, tan looks really good. She's just a little bit hard. We see a lot of vascularity in the abs, in the inner leg here, the arms, of course. Everyone has a little bit in the arms, typically at least. So yeah, I think she looks great, and then this back pose, it's really beautiful, like really great shape to those glutes. Our like shoulders look full enough. Well, I mean, not full, like she could fill out more, like she could look a little bit more poppy, but she has that nice roundness and capping to the delts. The suit bottom fits her really well. It's a little bit more coverage than we see normally, but if you don't want it, having a smaller suit coverage does not equal glutes looking bigger. It usually exposes that the glutes are not developed enough. So it shows like the shallowness and like indentation where the glute is connecting to the low back. So I think this suit bottom is a very smart choice. Sometimes when it's fully stoned like this, it can look a little bit thick. So yeah, I don't think it's a major deal. Like, I don't think it's going to be a deal breaker, but that's just something to note. Like, if you have a fully encrusted suit bottom, sometimes it can look a little bit thick on the body. when you want it to look kind of almost painted on, like very cohesive, like flows with the skin. So yeah, one thing she could do, because she's very tight, conditioning wise in this low back, like you're seeing the wrinkling of the skin, her hair could be a little bit longer just to cover that up. Because even though your back isn't judged in bikini, if it shows, then the judges can't help but notice it, you know? So if she had a little bit longer hair, that would be helpful, just so her conditioning looks more consistent throughout the entire physique. Like she looks a little harder up top, but has great fullness on bottom. So if she can figure that imbalance out, I think that would be, very helpful for her. But yeah, she's so tight that we like kind of see this sinking in the glute here. If she could angle away a little bit more, so I see less of the waist, belly button a little more profile, that would really help her shape out, because she clearly has a tiny flat waist, but it's just not being showcased perfectly for her. So yeah, but good luck, Catherine. Very excited for her. The hair, I'm a little bit critical of this really light hair, so I think if she had at least a deeper root, that would work for her. It's just that when it's this bright, it can just get kind of like swallowed up by the lights. Like it doesn't really show dimension in the hair. It just looks kind of like blah. So if she could add a little more dimension to the hair, I think that would help her out. I hate to say dye your hair, but that it's an aesthetic sport. Okay. And that's gonna be cool. She's going to Korea for this show. I think she lives in the U.S. because she competed at Sasquatch, or maybe just North America. She was at Vancouver last year. So we have a pro debut, and we have pro debuts in all these shows. And I'm only gonna talk about one person doing a pro debut, even though you never know what's gonna happen with a pro debut. But there's just so many people in these shows. So yeah, okay. Who do we have here? We have Borum. So pro debut. Good luck to her. And let's see her get to that front line. So the lighting is a little bit dark at this show, but I see why she got her pro card, like really great taper. I think she could relax these shoulders a little bit. It looks like hiked up to her neck a little bit. So if she could just relax, level those shoulders, she has great shape. The hair looks great. The suit color is very pretty on her. Really works in the background. Yeah, good conditioning. Yeah, I think she just needs a little bit more size, but you can only come in so conditioned when you don't have the size yet. So I think that's probably why she came in a little bit on the softer side of things. Otherwise, she would risk looking stringy. So yeah, this shoulder is like at the right height. If she could just level those, that would be great. Hand drop it a little bit because she is taller. So when you stop your hand this high up, you want to look symmetrical like an hourglass from top to bottom. So if you have like this short bit up top and then a tall, like long bit on bottom, then it doesn't give as great of symmetry. But that's just stage IQ things that you learn over time. And even people who have been doing this for like over a decade still are working on their stage presence. There's always something that can be worked on. And this was her pro win. So, I mean, yeah, pro card win. So, of course, there are going to be things, especially that early on. Back pose. Conditioning looks pretty consistent across her physique, so that is the tick in the column of killing it for her. The only things I would change are maybe angle these toes out less because it can make the quad overpower the glute, and you want the glute to overpower the legs slightly. And then close the stance a little bit because, again, you want to be symmetrical from top to bottom. She's a lot more narrow up here than she's showing on bottom. Hip width totally matches, but the feet are just a little bit too wide. This is more of like even wider than we'd want to see a wellness pose. So yeah, she could bring the feet in so the heels are like in line with the shoulder. That would be more ideal of a pose for her. So good luck to all these competitors. Okay. And then we're going to talk about, I'm going to have to film twice today, so I'm not going to talk about the big shows quite yet, I don't think. But I will talk about them. Okay. And then we just have the Open Pro show. So we have 5 people I pulled out. There are people who have done well before, but again, since there's so many, I kind of just want to focus more on like those people I think are for sure contenders for like those top placings. So looking at Bola's front pose, I would love for her to change the suit. Similar to the hair comment I just made about Catherine, when a suit is this light, it just kind of absorbs the light and looks washed out against the physique. But this shape is crazy. She has a really great hourglass shape. Shoulders could be a little bit more level. Tan looks awesome. It's the lighting is brighter at the top than it is at bottom, but I think the tan does look very even. Tiny, crazy waist, hair and makeup, gorgeous. Like love what's going on with the makeup here. And that lip, she has really nailed that like corally nudish lip that doesn't look like orange lips on stage. It just looks like her, but better. And that's what you want with stage makeup. You want it to be you, but a little bit elevated. And I think she has crushed it with that lip color. Her hand is more like what I was describing I want to see with Alum, where we see more of this thumb and less of the entire palm. So yeah, what she could do to improve this pose is bring the arm in a little bit. Um, there's some, I think maybe angle away a little bit too with the hips. She looks a little bit more open. And in these bikini poses, you want to look cartoonish. She has a cartoonish waist as is, so it's not necessarily hurting her to be this open up in the abdomen here, but it could be even more extreme while still falling in that criteria for bikini. So yeah, I think she could angle the hips way a little bit more. Maybe we'll even look at another picture to see if she does do that at other shows. Okay, and then looking at her back pose. Okay. Oh, and at the other show, I think it'll be in the order I went in. So Catherine second, Alum first, and then third will be the pro debut. That's my guess. Okay, and then in her back pose, so she is qualified for the Olympia before in 2022, but it looks like she hasn't competed at an Olympia. So yeah, that's too bad. I imagine it was like a visa issue. That would be absolutely heartbreaking. But yeah, really great balance from top to bottom. For this show, and I'm sure she's put on more size since this 2022 season, a little more depth all over, like a little bit more muscle all over, nothing crazy because you don't want to sacrifice her shape because she already has the structure for bikini. When people have to put on a lot of size for the division, it's one because the division does kind of demand it, but it's usually because you're trying to offset structural issues. So if you're someone who has a more narrow clavicle, but great hip width, then you have to put on, oh, excuse me. Oh, I was going to pause it, but sometimes my recording gets messed up if I do that. Anyway, then you have to put on a lot more delt size than someone with like a really wide clavicle, like we saw with Jibin at the show she just got fifth at, the New York Pro. So you would have to put on a lot more size just so you can change that proportion to be more in line with that hourglass shape and in line with what those people who do have the structure and enough muscle look like. So she is someone who has great balance already just with her skeletal structure. So she could just put on another layer of overall density, then it's like game over for many, many people. So yeah, I think great look. Very excited to see her on stage. Okay, I accidentally just minimized the one that I was looking at. Okay, perfect. Here we are. And I haven't thought about placings for these people yet. So then we have someone who has placed and qualified for the Olympia before. So she was at the Olympia last year. This is CU. And then you guys, Sasa Hay is it on this list? Sasa Hay is on one of these lists, but I am so sorry. I cannot figure out what her other name is that she goes by like in these actual contest results. I think she's been to the Olympia, so she's in there for whatever show, like as someone to talk about, but if someone could let me know her name, that would be great. Okay, so wow. So, CU, incredible shape. Like this is beautiful, just given structure. Makeup, perfect. Could be a tiny bit more glam, but it really is like, it's hard to clock this. And it matches the tan really well. It doesn't look muddy. Like it looks really good. Her skin is glowing. Like this is what you want the glaze to do to you. Like she looks so good. Very balanced from top to bottom. Like I would say my only thing that comes to mind when I see this, two things. One, just bringing this hand down slightly because the shoulder looks a little bit forced there. Otherwise, the pose looks totally natural. The other thing is she looks fuller through this upper body than she does the lower body. So that's kind of different than what we normally see. Normally, we see someone looking a little softer in the lower body and fuller. Oh, wait, yeah, fuller slash softer in the lower body, harder in the upper body because women usually lean down like top and then like glutes are the last thing. So they lean out here really hard and then the legs come in, with the glutes usually coming last. So it's interesting to see that she looks so full in these arms, but looks a lot tighter in this lower body. But waist up, perfect conditioning. Waist down could be a little bit, boots down. Okay, waist down could be a little bit fuller. So what that tells me is she needs a little bit more size in this lower body, like a little more muscle all around the legs. Glutes are probably okay, but once she brings these legs up, this projection in the glute won't look as extreme because she's brought everything else up. So she would need to bring up the entire lower body, based on just this front pose. And then she will really be a force to be reckoned with. Yeah, I love this look. Just a little imbalance in conditioning from top to bottom. But shape is crazy. Looking at her back pose, and she got a 6 at that show. Oh, my sister's texting me. What does she have to say? Just kidding. She's my BFF. Okay, back pose. So here she is, her back pose. Glutes very full, like fuller than her legs in that front pose and the legs in this back pose here. But yeah, she could use a little bit more projection. So they're a great shape, but they are looking like they're looking a little bit flatter on these edges. It could be that she's angling her toes out. If she angled them more straight on, then her quads wouldn't look like the same width as her glutes. It's kind of reminding me of Allison Testu, where we're just getting a similar width. So yeah, I think just putting on more hamstrings so I don't see these grooves in there, more overall leg, more glute, she'd really get that projection. She also looks like she's leaning her upper body back, which is making her waist look wider. So if she pushed her upper body like an inch, 2 inches forward while still keeping the chest open so she can maintain this roundness in her delts, that would really change the look, even if she didn't put more muscle on. Like if she just made that adjustment here, then that would make a difference in her overall silhouette. So yeah, I would just want her to push forward a little bit. That way we get more, like a more narrow waist. Because obviously she has a tight waist. We just saw it in her front pose. But yeah, and then maybe angle the toes. But long term, I would say the goal would just be putting on more muscle. She hasn't competed since December, so now it's almost June. So she's had a little bit of time, but I mean, it's kind of hard to put on a significant amount of size in the meantime. Not that it's super significant what she needs to put on, but I don't know that 5 months is enough when you factor in having to reverse out of a show and then cutting again for this show. Okay. And then we have Asong Moon. Asong is already qualified for the Ben Weeder Natural. She's a natural athlete, so that I think is why she is not competing in the natural show. She's trying to get that Olympia qualification, and she's gotten close. Like, she's gotten in the open 2nd place. So it's not crazy to think she might get her qualification at this show. Incredible balance. What I've said, you can go watch the multiple videos I have mentioning her, is makeup could be a little more glam. The suit color I did not think worked for a little bit too light, but beautiful balance, beautiful fullness to the muscle that she has. And she just has overall really great shape. Like she has a really crazy taper into her waist, especially in that front pose, and just needs long-term bigger glutes. So if I were her, I mean, I guess I would just hope that I win this show so I can like go take the time needed to put on more muscle for like the Ben Weeder and potentially the Olympia. But this is a crazy little front pose here. And she's even more forward facing here than I think she was in comparisons at this show because she has an even smaller waist than she was just showing there. But yeah, I am a big fan. Yeah, okay, here you can see she is angled away more and it's an even crazier hourglass shape. So yeah, rooting for her always. Okay, and then we have Pei Fin Lin. So she's placed 6th this year. Okay, so yeah, my feedback with her is really pretty suit. Tan looks really good. Great confidence, is just a little bit too hard. So I would just want her to soften up a little bit. It's probably going to take putting on more muscle like in this upper body so it doesn't look so lean compared to the lower body. But really great stage presence, and excited to see how she does at the show. In her back pose, Really tiny waist from the back. It looks great. And yeah, same thing. Maybe a little more size in these upper outer glutes because they look a little bit flat right there, which there are people at the Olympia who are a little bit flat right there. Um, so yeah, yeah, for her, it's just going to be a little more size over time and kind of streamlining that physique. And then, okay, then we have Alum again. So I just talked about her. If she gets tighter, she might be able to win this show. But as far as who I think is going, how I think placings will shake out, I could see you in second place. Okay, let's go through this. Who do I think? I'm talking about balance, overall fullness, then Pei, Finn, Lynn. If she's in the top five, I think we'll be in that fifth spot. Alum, it's just needing that balance and conditioning, so it's tough to say. I'll probably say, let's see if IFBB AGP, let's see if she's posted any updates. Because since she has placed first before, I'm inclined to believe that she will do it again. Yeah, this is really great balance. So, okay, I'm going to say first place here, Bola. Second place, probably Asong Moon. But, I mean, yeah, the balance just isn't quite there for CU yet. But she has been to the Olympia, so it's like, let's see what she looked like when she got first place. Oh, yeah, she looked really good. Yeah, she looks fuller here. Okay, so yeah. Maybe I'll say, yeah, I think it could go anyway. I don't have like a concrete prediction, but I'll say Bola, and then I'll say, who is this person? Asong? Okay, yeah, Bola, and then I will say CU, Alum, well, probably Asong and then Alum if Asong hasn't got, I mean, if Alum hasn't gotten her conditioning down yet, and then Payfin. So yeah, that's my prediction at this point. So Bola, CU, Asong, even though I would love to see Asong win, and I think she does have the balance to win. It's just going to be a matter of how much size these girls bring, because like CU could use a little bit more size, Bola could use a little bit more size, so Asong could definitely take the show, and then Alum and Payfin. But I think it could go anyway, honestly. Okay. And then, what are the other shows that we have? Okay, what shows do I have pulled up? Okay, let's talk about this natural show, Kansas City Natural, hometown. Okay, so we have Ashley Downs, we have Alexandra Leeper, and we have Bella. And Bella, this is going to be her pro debut. So let's look at Bella first. And you know what? I'll get back to this in my next video because I forgot I have a work call. Okay, bye.